So we have radio scandals that shook pop music. Then we have a telegenic candidate in John F. Kennedy who showed how television could decide a presidency. I'm Matt Hasquin. I'm a high school history teacher, and I'm taking you line by line through Billy Joel's We Didn't Start the Fire. We've went Edsel Izanogo, U2, Syngman Rhee. Now we're on to Payola and Kennedy. And at first I thought, do I want to break this down into two different episodes? But I really feel like this is more like about media power. So from my point of view, when Billy Joel sings Payola and Kennedy, I think he's taking two late 1950s stories that are side by side to show how media power was remaking American life here. So we have radio playlists for sale, and then a presidential campaign that was just built for television. So first things first, over here we have Payola. So in 1959, kind of 1960, congressional hearings were exposing how some record promoters and disc jockeys used under-the-table payments and also gifts to push songs onto radio playlists. Radio had become the gatekeeper for teen taste, and the spins of records could effectively just create a hit. And the most famous casualty was DJ Alan Freed, who championed rock and roll but lost his job and later pled guilty to commercial bribery. TV host and just impressive over personality, Dick Clark, survived the events, after divesting his record and publishing interests and testifying that he would avoid conflicts in the future. The real upshot here was tougher sponsor identification rules, right? They needed tighter station controls over playlists and kind of a just cooling down any kind of undisclosed promotion. The music industry did not stop promoting records, but it did learn how to document and then later disclose things. Now, to the other side here, with Kennedy, in 1960, Senator John F. Kennedy is running against Vice President Richard Milhous Nixon in the first televised presidential debates. And on radio, when folks listened to the debates, they actually scored the debate rather close, even edging towards Nixon. But on television, the viewers saw a calm and well-lit Kennedy and a pale, sweating, and ill Richard Nixon under those studio lights. Kennedy's team treated TV as its own battlefield with, crisp visuals and short messages, and you have a candidate who looked very comfortable in the new medium. He addressed worries about his Catholic faith. He made a high-profile call to Coretta Scott King after Dr. King went to jail, and he framed this forward-leaning new frontier. The election was razor-thin, but it proved that image and broadcast strategy could help shape national politics. When you put these two things together, the lyric shows two faces of the same media moment. Payola is the dark side of influence where, covert money can bend the will and bend taste. Kennedy is the polished side, where public performance and television kind of they can persuade voters out in the open. But both of them taught regulators and programmers and politicians that screens and speakers could move a country. When we tie it back to the song, Payola and Kennedy, Billy Joel captures a pair of pretty tight headlines that changed rules in media. Radio learned disclosure and also control. Politics ended up learning about lighting and framing and image. So the reason why it matters, Payola and Kennedy explains the start of modern media literacy, who controls playlists and how money must be disclosed and how television reshapes leadership. It is the blueprint for today's fight over promotion and influence and also on-camera politics. If you enjoyed today's episode covering Payola and Kennedy, please throw a follow after me and a like, and that'd be awesome. I'm going to keep on rolling through here because, like I said, we went through Edsel Izanogo, U2, Syngman Rhee, Payola and Kennedy, and well, up next, we're going to move on to the next line, the final line in this verse, with Chubby Checker. Thanks for watching.